Hey everyone, it's your favorite Hachigun sister Zawadi, and welcome back to this channel. If you are new, I want to say thank you so much. If you've been on this channel, I want to say thank you so much for supporting the channel. Leave a comment, subscribe, share, comment, like, all of it. Okay, let's just get this channel moving, as I try my best to stay consistent. The info here is in no way coming from me as a medical doctor, as I am not a medical doctor. As far as credentials, I have my master's degree in healthcare administration, business management. That's pretty much what my master's is in. So this info is in no way coming from me as a doctor, but rather something that I read, and of course I started to dig more into the info that I received. Okay, so that's just to clarify that. I read, however, recently that as of October 2nd, there has been 1,300 deaths in the DRC, Democratic Republic of Congo. And so you're probably wondering, so what does that have to do with me? It has a lot to do with you if you're on the African continent, okay? So Mpox has been killing a lot of people in the DRC. So you're wondering, what is Mpox? Mpox is formerly known as monkeypox. So instead of saying monkeypox, you just have to use the letter M, and it's Mpox. So it has killed over 1,300 people. Once in contact with this, it can kill 1 in 10 people. Okay, this is according to the Africa Center of Disease Control and Prevention. So you're probably wondering still, Emma, what does this exactly have to do with me? Like I said, if you're on the continent, you should be very concerned because this is highly contagious, okay? Compared to previous exposure, this is actually one of the most dangerous strain ever. So you have to take this very seriously. A lot of people are dying. And then you wonder again, where is this centrally located? Well, a lot is happening in East Africa. So we talk about Democratic Republic of Congo, that's where it is, right? And then it's moving to East Africa, like countries like Burundi, Uganda, Rwanda. That is where it is. And I decided I will contact a colleague that is in Rwanda, and I said, hey, have you heard of this? And he said, yeah, we are actually gonna have a lockdown because it is actually spreading this side, which is the eastern part of Africa. Then I went further to do a little bit more research, and then I realized, it is in Liberia. Okay, alarming. 6 cases has actually been known in Liberia, specifically Lufra County, River G County, and Sino County. You're probably wondering, how did this happen? I can't tell you. However, I can tell you routes potentially that this may have come from. So you have DRC, you have Gabon, you have Cameroon, and then you have Guinea. So you know those routes. Guinea is the closest, therefore there could be potential exposure. Now let's take it a step backwards. Potentially you have travelers coming from these regions, okay? If the ports are not protected, the airport, seaport, roadside, they're not protected, or testings are not being done, you will probably never know who's spreading this thing, okay? Compared to COVID, in which later on people started to test, you obviously have the testing for temperature, and of course vaccination cards and all of these things, right? You had something to test. But right now, you probably think, well, there are 6 cases. If you currently have 6 cases, do you think other people who are exposed actually know what's happening? So your probability of having even more than 6 is even higher than currently 6, because you don't know if this has spread or not. And according to the article, there has been isolation, people are being made aware of these things, and there is budget for Liberia to combat this problem. with vaccination, however it is, but there's budget for this specific issue. You know, yes, I read it, and I think it's something that Liberians and everybody should be much more aware of and take more precaution. But the reason why I think this is so important for me to talk about this is because sometimes my Liberian people don't take things seriously, okay? So you remember, unfortunately, a lot of people lost their lives, and it's so sad and disturbing. Do you recall when Ebola entered Liberia? Okay. May God rest the souls of those that have passed. However, a lot of people were taking it to be fun. You know, I would call back home and some people would be like, oh, okay, I can kiss, oh, I can do this, I'm going to my neighbor's house, nothing is serious. And I realized as time goes on, my Liberian folks don't take things serious. So I thought it wise to come and spread out some level of awareness, since this thing now is spreading from east. And as of 3 days ago, Ghana actually reported 230 plus cases. So now you have to wonder, 230 plus cases again, like I said, that is a very low number. That's those who are being, reported to the medical professionals, and or those who are going to say, you know what, I have this. But how about those who are not even aware? Okay, so the number is actually really high. So it's in Ghana, and our people are going in and out of Ghana. And so if it's happening in Ghana, imagine what's happening to Liberia, to Sierra Leone, to anyway, and then this thing is gonna start spreading. So then, if you're like, okay, I need to be aware and take precaution, what are some of these symptoms to actually look out for? And of course, not from me, I'm not a medical doctor, but according to the Center of Disease Control, not Africa Center of Disease Control and Prevention, but this is the CDC, there are several symptoms. And now pay attention very carefully. Skin rashes, okay, you're gonna come out small, tiny skin rashes. Headache, fever, back pain, body aches. Those are like common symptoms of this mpox. Okay, so it's not something to take very lightly. The other aspect is you're wondering, like, how can people get in contact with it? Well, the moment you come in close contact with somebody who has been contaminated, that is one thing. The next thing is if you have clothing item of somebody who has been contaminated, that's another way to have this as well. So you're probably wondering, okay, what do I do once I find this out immediately? So how can you take precaution? Immediately, once you notice this, go to a hospital. Okay, that's your first line of defense. Don't wait and be wondering, oh my God, what is it that I have? Oh my God, I don't think so. Oh, I'm wondering. No, it's go seek medical treatment. That's the first aspect. And then come back. If accessible, of course, the medical professionals will give you vaccination. That's another way. And the other thing though will be able to stay away from those who are already contaminated. That's a no-brainer. Isolate yourself. Get away from those who are contaminated. If you live in the same house as somebody who has it, get away from them. Okay, it's actually very important. The other thing is to stay away from wild animals. So recently though, in Liberia, I saw this video in a picture, and I was telling myself, I hope this is fake. People were playing with a dead shark. And I was like, what exactly is my eye seeing at this moment? Am I seeing spirit that you're playing with a dead shark? The moment I personally see a dead shark, I'm running. Okay? Let's assume it's not applicable to you because you're not from Liberia. The same thing if you're in Nigeria, if you're in East Africa, wherever you are, if you come in contact with a wild animal dead, why would you want to play with it? That's another way to get in contact with something like this. Okay, so take precautionary steps by just getting away from wild animals. Okay, I have said what I know based on what I read from the CDC and the Africa Center of Disease Control and Prevention. These are some of what they are recommending. And lastly, of course, in this last part, however, it's not what the Africa Center of Disease Control and Prevention and or the CDC says. It's something that I think logically should even happen anyway. So as more countries start to see the numbers up, close the borders temporarily. If you can't close border because it impacts your country economically, you can also try to put methods in place such as testing, vaccination. If you don't have access to vaccination, try to gain access as a country. But you want to close the border just to prevent those that are coming and to protect those who are inside. And then find means to get people tested who are coming into the country for these things. And if they have that exposure, try to find isolation for them and then look into vaccination as well. This is exactly how you minimize spreading of contagious diseases. And this video really is an awareness. It's not necessarily because I'm a medical doctor or anything, just to create awareness for our people, because sometimes, like I referenced before, people don't take things serious, and we have to take some of these things very serious. Okay, if you've heard about this, leave me a comment. If you have any speculation, you can also state it. Of course, we're not relying on speculation and or assumptions, or just coming up with something totally incomplete or false, but we support info, comments on here, whatever you know about this. What can you add to this video? If something wasn't stated accordingly, like I said, you can also let me know. In the meantime, subscribe to the channel, share with your friends. Be good, be safe, everybody. A lot is happening in this life. Just be safe out there. Thank you very much.